Good morning, everyone. This is the news for Thursday, July 24th. A judge has sentenced Bryan Khoberger to life in prison without parole for the murders of 4 college students in Idaho. Khoberger admitted to the 2022 murders in a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. He also didn't have to explain his motive for the killing as part of that deal. Family members of the victims read impact statements while Khoberger sat in the courtroom. A second court is blocking President Trump's executive order that would limit birthright citizenship. In a 2-1 ruling on Wednesday, the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals found a coalition of Democrat-led states is entitled to a nationwide injunction preventing the order from going into effect. This comes after a federal judge in New Hampshire blocked the order earlier this month. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court issued a ruling last month limiting the ability of judges to issue nationwide injunctions blocking presidential policies. The Israel Defense Force says a misfired munition caused last week's deadly strike on Holy Family Catholic Church in Gaza, killing 3 and injuring 9. The church, sheltering over 600 people, had been a refuge since the war began and is the only Catholic church in Gaza. The IDF expressed regret, calling the incident unintentional. The Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem says aid still has not reached the site and warned of the danger of military operations near civilian areas. Last week, Cardinal Pier Battista Pizzaballa expressed skepticism to the Italian newspaper Corriere della Sera, saying they say it was a mistake even though nobody here believes that. Columbia University has agreed to pay a $200 million fine over the next 3 years to resolve allegations from the Trump administration it discriminated against Jewish students. The move will restore hundreds of millions of dollars in federal grants. Acting Columbia President Claire Shipman said in a release that the agreement, quote, marks an important step forward after a period of sustained federal scrutiny and institutional uncertainty. The statement went on to say that while Columbia is not admitting to any wrongdoing, the institution's leaders have recognized that Jewish students and faculty have expressed painful, unacceptable incidents. Columbia will also pledge to follow laws banning the consideration of race in admissions and hiring. And the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has announced sweeping reforms to the organ transplant system after a federal probe found serious ethical and safety violations. Investigators discovered cases where organs were taken from patients who may not have been dead, prompting calls for stricter oversight. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. called the findings horrifying, vowing accountability. The new rules will require clearer donor criteria and stronger safeguards to protect patient rights. That's the news this morning. I'm Matthew Handley.